live?
Kind of. I'm just making sure that it is. We on.
Sar?
La Yashala.
Ayashala? Sar? It's like, my phone. Alright, Majin, which means to stand. Wapanyak Wadon, which means rise and face the east.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwa. Taba'ah. Ratazak. Ayah. Aisha. Ratazak. Kawa. Ayah. Hashemayim. Dalanawa. Kau. Yawam. Wasalak Lanawa. Kawab Nawa. Kasalak Nawa. Kawab Yanawa. Wala. Tabiyah Nawa. Anasaya One. Abal. Awashaya Nawa. Ayan. Rai. Kaya. Malakwa, Wa'ala, the Parah, Aman.
In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. Babakashah. Thunlanau. Hakak. La'pa. Ka'makala. Ka'marawa. Hakak. La'tahor. Amatazariah. Hakak. Ahakwi. Hakak. Awakawa. Tama'ala. Agasham. Ba'ashem Yahushua. The Wada Aman.
In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you.
So be it. Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Baraklanau.
Waha. Bayaf Barak. Magun. Ba'ashem Yahushua. The Wada Aman.
What we just said was Yahweh in the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayanya.
Ahahari.
Mayan. Yaba'ah. Aizari. Ma'an. Yahweh. Aisha. Shemayim. Waharatazah. Al Yatham. Lamawat. Gal. Al Yanawam. Shamar. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yashan. Shamar. Yasha'ah. Yahweh. Shamar. Yahweh. Tazal. Al Yad. Yamnika. Yawamam. Hashamash. La'ah. Wayarah. Layala. Yahweh. Yashamar. Makal Rai. Yashamar. Napashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Tazah. Wabak.
Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this time forth, and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Al Damayalaka. Al Takarash. Al Tashakwat. Al Kayahana. Awayabika. Yahamayawan. Amashanayaka. Al Aimaka. Yarayam. Sawad. Oyatayai Tazawad. Al Tazap Pawanyaka. Amawa. Kawa. Nagoya. Walaa. Nazakar. Shamyashal. Aiwai. Kaya. Awai Tazawad. La, Yachadwa, Baryah, Yakarafwa, Adawam, Yashema'al, Hagari, Gabal, Waimawan, Alashab, Yashab, Tazawul, Gamashawu, Nalawa, Imam, Zawad, Salah, Aisha, Lahom, Kamadi, Kasayasa, Kayabi, Nanakal, Yashwan, Yashamad, Bayanda, Iowa, Daman, Dama, Nadiamawa, Kaira, Kazabat, Kazalmanai, Kalnasaya, Kumba, Ashar, Mawa, Yarashad, Nawa, Alahaya, Shayathamma, Gagala, Wash, Panyaraka, Kaash, Debairi, Kalahat, Aryam, Basag, Wabasawapat, Dabahalom, Panyahom, Wan, Shamka, Yahawa, Bashwa, Wayabaab, IDI, Kapar, Wayabad, Wayadai, Kaya, Shamka, Yahawa, Labaka, Al, Yawan, Kal, Ratazah, Aman
in English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zeb, yea, all their princes, Azabah, and Azamuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded. In trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, and men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high of all the earth. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. All right. 17 and... You said 23. 23. Boy. All right. We're going to be reading out the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 17, verse 23. Wayakwak, Abraham, Af, Yasha'ala, Banwa, Wa'af, Kal, Yaladia, Bayathwa, Wa'af, Kal, Makwanaf, Kasapua, Kal, Zakar, Banashia, Bayath, Abraham, Wa Yamal, Af, Bashar, Iralatham, Ba'aitazam, Hayawam, Hazaha, Ka'ashar, Dabar, Athwa, Alahayam. It's like Alahayam, Hayawam.
Yeah, Alahayam. I know, that's Alahayam.
Alahayam. Okay, I had it right. It's like 24. Wa Abraham, Ban, Dasha Ayam, Watha Shai, Shana, Bahamawa, Bashar, Iralathwa. Verse 25. Wayashema'ayo. No.
You said it right.
So it's Wayashema'ayo. Wayashema'ayo. Banwa. Ban. Shalash. Aishara. Shana. Bahamawa. Af. Bashar. Iralathwa. Verse 26. Ba'aitazam. Hayawam. Hazaha. Namawal. Abraham. Wayasha Ma'ayo. That's how to say.
Why Shema Ayal.
Why Shema Ayal. Banwa. Verse 27.
That's Ishmael, so it's Ishmael. Yeah. Why Shema Ayal. Yeah, why Shema Ayal.
Kind of the Khan, the water side. Wakal Anashya Bayathwa Yala Yak Salakia Yala Yad Bayath Makwa Naf Kwasap Ma'af Ban Nakar Nama
27, right? Verse 27.
Kind. Is that Nama Lawa? Nama Lawa. Yeah, that's Nama Lawa.
Namalwa.
Mm-hmm. Athwa. All right. Genesis chapter 18, verse 1. Wa'ira'ah al-Yahwa Yahweh Ba'alanya. Mama Ra'ah Wa'a Yeshab Pathak Ha'ah Kakam Hayawam. I'm stopping at 3 or 2. I think I'm
2.
Why
you started at 24, right? You started at
23. 23. I started at 23. Why
yeah, you started at 2.
Kind of the water. Why Sha'a Ayananya. So like Ayananyawa. Is that right? Ayananyawa. Why Ra'ah Wahana Shalasha Anashium Nataza Bayom Al Yawa Waya Ra'ah Waya Rataza or Waya Rataza right here. Waya Rataza Lakwa Atham Mapatak Ha Wayashakwa.
So you in verse 2. Salak, I'm still in verse 1. Salak, yeah.
Salak, yeah.
Salak, yeah. Okay, where you at? Say it again.
Wayashadakwa. Is that Wayashadakwa?
God.
Wayashadakwa. Arataza.
All right. Now we're in Genesis. In the English, we're in Genesis chapter 17, verse 23. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as the Most High had said unto him. Verse 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Verse 25. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Verse 26. And the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. Verse 27. And all the men of his house born in the house and bought with money of the stranger were circumcised with him. Chapter 18, verse 1. And the Most High appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. Verse 2. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground.
All right, back to the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 18, verse 3. Wayamar Adanya Na'a Mataza Athya. What's that? Khan. Ba'aya Nanyak. Ba'aya Nayak. Oh, Na'a the Ibar. Ma'al, Ibadak, verse 4. Yakwak, Na'a, Ma'ait, Mayam. What's that? Wakatazawa?
You had Ragala.
So this what?
Ragala Yakum?
No, the last word.
On verse 4?
The last word on the first sentence. What's that? Wakatazawa?
Oh, I see it right here.
It's different on yours.
Katazawa. Yeah. Warakatazawa.
Warakatazawa. Regalia come. Wahasha'anya wa.
God, that's right.
The kach. So like the kach. The kaf. The kaf. Ha'aitazah. All right, verse 5. Wa'akwaka.
Yeah, wa'akwaka.
Wa'akwakak. Paf. Lakam. Wasa'idwa. Labakam. Akar. The Iba Warwa.
The Ibarwa.
Kaya al Khan Ibarathum. Al Ibarakam Ibadakam. Waya Marwa. Khan. The Aisha. Ka'ashar. The Barath. Verse 6. Waya Mahar. Abaraham. Al ya Slaki. Hala. Al Shara. Waya Amar. Maharya. Shalash. Sa'ayam. Sa'ayam. Kwamak. Salaf. Lawashya. Wa'aishya. Agawath. Verse 7. Wa'al. Habakor. Ratazah. Abaraham. Waya Kwak. Ban. Bakor. Rock. What's that? Rock. Raka. Rock. Watawab. Waya Than. Tawab good. All. Hana Waya Mahar. La Aisha Wath. Athwah. Verse 8. Notice maybe
the next. Oh yeah.
Waya Kwak. Hama'a. So like Hama'aha. Wakalab. Waban. Haba Kwar. Ashar. Aisha. Waya Than. Lapanyahom. Wahawa'a. Aimad. Ail Yahom. Thakaf. Ha'aitazah. Waya
Aklawa.
Waya Aklawa. So like last verse.
Sure.
Waya Marwa. Al Yawa. Ayah. Shara. Ashadak. Waya Amar. Hana. Ba'ahal.
So like you got the message up.
Oh, that's because I
turned
them
off.
No, yeah, kind of the kind.
No,
because I turned them off. But it's flowing smooth now.
Most High Christ. Let's try to look up too, because when we put our head down, it's hard to see us.
Kind of the kind.
When we're reading.
I'll hold it up.
18. This is Genesis chapter 18, verse 3. And said, My Adawan, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Hold on. Did I read verse 2? Yeah, I read verse 2. You read it?
Last, they should have been read.
Yeah, I read it last.
So we starting at 3.
Yeah, for some reason I didn't read that. So this is Genesis chapter 18, verse 3. And said, My Adawan, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Verse 4. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. Verse 5. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. Verse 6. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the hearth. Verse 7. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. Verse 8. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. Verse 9. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent.
All right. Genesis chapter 18, verse 10 in the Hebrew. Wayamar, Shawab, Ashawab, Al-Yak, Ba'aith, Hayaha, Wahana, Ban, Lashara, Ashadak, Washara, Shama'aith, Padak, Ha'ahal, Ha'ahal, Waha, so like Wahawa'a, Akaryawa. Verse 11. Wa Abraham wa Shara Zaquanyam Bayam Kadal. Is that right? Kadal Lahaya Wath La Shara Arach Kanashium. Verse 12. With that is a kak. So like Shara Bakwa Rab Bakuraba La Amar Akarya Balathia Haya Da Laya Ida Na Wa'adanya Zaquan. Verse 13. Wayamar Yahweh all Abraham Lama Za Taza Kakwa Shara La Amar Ha. What's that? Ha'ap. Yeah, Ha'ap. Amanam Alad Wa'anya Zaquanathia. Verse 14. Hayapala Maya Hawa.
I mean, so like you said it right the first time. Hayapala.
All right. Maya Hawa. Dabar Lama Wa Aid Ashawab Al Yak Ka'ai Kaya Wala Shara Ban. Verse 15.
16, your last one.
Wathaka Kash Shara La Amar La A Taza Kwathya Kaya Yara Wayamar La A Kaya Taza Kwath. Is that right? Taza Kwath?
Gone.
All right, verse 16. Wayakwamwa Masham Ha Nashium Wayasha Kwapwa Al Panya Saddam Wa the Bahar Salaki Wa Abraham Salaki Halak Imam Lasha Kam.
All right, this is Genesis chapter 18 verse 10. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. Verse 11. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Verse 12. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? Or my Adawan being old also? Verse 13. And the Most High said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Verse 14. Is anything too hard for the Most High? At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Verse 15. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. Verse 16. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way.
All right, Genesis chapter 18, verse 17 in the Hebrew. Well, Yahweh Amar Hamakasa Anya Ma'abaraham Ashar Anya Aisha. Verse 18. Wa'abaraham Hayawa Ya Lagoya Gado Wall Wa'itazam. So like it Wa'itazawam. One of
Barakwa.
So one of Barakwa. Bawa call Gawa Yaya. Go Yaya. Rataza. Verse 19. Kaya Yada Aith Yawa Lama Ain Ashar Yatazawa Ah Banya Yawa Wa Ah Baya Bayathwa Akarya Washamarwa Dorak Yahweh La Aisha Waf Tazadah the Kwa Tazadak.
What?
Tazadak. Wama Shapat Lama Ain Habaya Yahweh Al Abaraham Af Ashar Dabar Al Yahweh. Verse 20. Wayamar Yahweh Sa'ai Quath Saddam Wa'aima Ra Kaya Rabah Waka Ta'atham Kaya Kabada Ma'ad. What's that? 21. Arada Na'a Wa'ara'a. So like it. Wa'ara'a.
Wa'ara'a. You said it right.
Hakataza Aikwatha.
Gone.
Haba'a.
Haba'a.
Oh yeah, Aisha wa Kala wa La'a Ada I. Yeah.
Adai. That's just Adai.
So Adai.
Gone.
22. Hey. 22. Waya Panwa Masham Ha Nashim Wayalakwa. What's that? Sadama.
Sadama.
Mm-hmm. Wa'abaraham. Iwa Danwa. Imad. Lapanya. Yahweh. Verse 23. That's the last verse. Wayagash. Abaraham. Wayamar. Ha'ap. Tasapa. Tazadiakwa.
Tazadayak.
Mm-hmm. I'm Rashai.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 17. And the Most High said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Verse 18. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Most High, to do justice and judgment, that the Most High may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. Verse 20. And the Most High said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. Excuse me. Verse 22. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Most High. Verse 23. And Abraham drew near, and said, wilt thou also destroy the wicked? Salakia. Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? If anything you want to say, you can say it, Elisha.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying this whole story, that we going over, not the whole story, but from Genesis, this whole book. I mean, it's just hardcore, because it shows, for one, it shows who the Most High God made the covenant with, which was all one of our forefathers, and it just shows you the might and the patience and the love that the Most High has, what I mean, for his nation. So, if we want to, have that power, we want to feel, we always looking for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come over. We always complaining about why don't we support black businesses?
Right.
Why can't we all just get along? Why can't we just, come together? I mean, that's what the Isupk has been teaching since 1969.
That's right.
And we didn't just make it up. It didn't come out of thin air.
Right.
Yeah, brothers that really believed in his Bible, and the Most High God showed his word.
That's right.
Just like he showed Abraham his word.
That's right.
And it's like how Sarah didn't, she laughed like, right. Hey, in my old age, you think I'm about to bury a child? Yeah, and the Lord told her, he said, is it anything, it's nothing that I can't do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And having a baby is, nothing. I mean, it's not a hard task.
God.
You understand? So, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. This is just a real hardcore story on showing who the Most High God chose and, just have him having so much compassion and patience with his nation.
Damn right. Get a brother another hand.
So we back in the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 18, verse 24. Wayalawa yash maka.
That's awalaya.
Says awalaya.
Awalya. That's awalya.
Awalya. And that's sham. I mean yash. Yash. Kamashium. Tazadakyum. Bathawak. Ha'ayar. Yeah. Ha'ap. Dasapa. Wala'a. Dasha'a. Lamakwam. Lama Ain. Kamashim. Hataza.
The
Yakwam. Ashar. Bakwaba. Verse 25. Kalala.
Yeah, kalala.
Lak. Ma'aishath. Kadabar. Hazaha. Lahamyum. So like it. Lahama Yath. Taza Dayak. Ain. Rashai. Wahaya. Kataza Dayak. Karashai. Or Karshai.
Karshai.
Kalala. Lak. Hashapat. Kal. Rataza La'a. Ya Aisha. Mashapat. 26. Wayamar Yahweh Amataza Basa Dam Kamashiyam Salakia Taza de Yaquam Bathawad Salakia Bathawak Ha'ayar Wanasha Athya Lakal Hamakwam Ba'aiba Waram Ba'aiba Rawam. Verse 27. Waya Ain Abaraham Waya Amar Hana Na'a Hawa Lathia Larabar Al Ara Adanya Wa Anakia Ipar Wa Par. Verse 28. Wa our awalya, or is that our
awala? Salakia, awalya. Come on, you said it right.
Awalya. Yakasarawan. Kamashium. Hataza da yaquam. Kamasha. Salakia. Hatha shakathya.
Kayath. Hasha. Salakia. Hathash. That's
Hathash Kayath.
Hathash
Kayath.
Hathash Kayath. Yeah.
Hathash Kayath.
There you go.
Become Masha. Become Masha. Call. Ha'ayar. Wayamar. La'ah. Asha Kayath. Amataza. Sham. Araba. Ayam. Wakashama. It's like, yeah, Waka Masha. Waka Masha. Verse 29. It's 30.
Wayasap. Last verse.
Aywad. Ladabar. Al Yawa. Waya Amar. Al Awaya. Al Awalya. Awalya. Yamataza Awan.
Yamataza Salakia. Mataza Awan.
Mataza Yamataza Awan. Sham. Where did he?
It's a spider.
Listen. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Salakia, sir.
You talk Mataza Awan. Mataza Awan. Yamataza Awan.
Yamataza Awan. Sham. Araba. Ayam. Wayamar. La'a. Aisha. Ba'aiba War. Raba'ayam. Oh, that's Salaki.
Arabayam. Salakia.
Ha'abarayam. Is that right?
Arabayam. That's right. Ha'abarayam.
Ha'abarayam. Verse 30. Wayamar al na'a yakar la'adanya. La'adanya. Yeah, la'adanya. Wa'adabar. La'adabara. Awa ya. Yamataza awan. Sham. Shalashim. Wayamar la'a. Aisha. Amataza Sham Shalashim.
All right, this is Genesis chapter 18, verse 22, right?
Kind of, sir.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 22.
No. 24.
Oh, verse 24. So like the water.
24 to 30.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 24. Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? Verse 25. That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous shall be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Verse 26. And the Most High said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Verse 27. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High, which am but dust and ashes. Verse 28. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack? Salakia. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. Verse 29. And he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. Verse 30. And he said unto him, O let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. Now this is Abraham. He's trying to plead with the Lord. It's funny because Abraham in his mind knows there's not 40 righteous men there. He knows there's not 10 righteous niggas there. But he knows that because of his reputation, he can change the Lord's mind. The Lord can change and have mercy on this city, all because of the reputation of one man. You understand? Like, that's what's so heavy about this scripture. And what we just read is, not only did Sarah not believe that she can give birth, not only did Abraham not believe he could have Ishmael in his old age, the Lord had to tell Sarah and had to tell Abraham, what is impossible with the Most High God? I'm the Most High. I can have mercy on whom I have mercy, and it is not for him that who willeth or who runneth. That's in Romans, the 9th chapter, verse 13. Like, here we are, our entire life, we think that, well, what's meant to be is meant to be. That's not true. God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's right.
But if not for Abraham's reputation, Lot would have been destroyed with Sodom and Gomorrah, his nephew, his brother. Like, you could change the Lord's mind, but you're not going to change the Most High's mind if you eat pork and drink, if you eat pork and smoke weed and get high. There's no way you can change the Most High God's mind. He's going to count you as a sinner, and you're going to be destroyed with America. That's why it's so important that we do and keep the law of the Most High God. That's why it's so important that you have an outstanding, irrefutable, and without blemish reputation.
That's right.
Because if you don't, then you're going to be destroyed with America. Like, that's what's so important about how we live our lives. It's not YOLO and you only live once, do whatever I want. Because when the day comes, you're going to need the Most High God on your side. When you're standing in court crying in front of your mother and grandmother. When you're out in the hospital and you're shot. Or you're out in the hospital, you're in a hospital bed in the ICU hanging on for dear life. You're going to flatline any moment. You're going to need the Most High God on your side. And he's not going to be with you because you lived the life of a Christian your entire life. That's why it's very important that brothers and sisters flood into these classrooms in the Isupk under Commander Juniana so you could have the Lord on your side.
That's right.
You won't have to wonder. You won't have to guess. You can be the way Abraham was and change the Lord's heart, change his mind on who he has mercy on. Why? Because of your reputation. But if you're a drug addict and selling drugs and lying to God and lying to your people like the Christian pastors do, God will never be on your side. But if you have an irrefutable reputation, a reputation that's without blemish, without spot, like Abraham did, you could change the Lord's mind. The Lord could be on your side, just like he was with Moses, just like he was with Abraham, who we're reading about right now, like he was with our King Christ, like he was with Paul, like he was with Stephen. Like there are men in the Bible who had without blemish reputations, and it saved their life. You could do the same thing.
That's right.
That's why this is in the Bible, to show you Abraham knew it wasn't that many men in the city that was righteous. He kept asking God, if you find 50, if you find 5 less than 50, what's 50 minus 5? 45. God said, okay, if I find 45 righteous men, I'll spare the city.
Right.
God knows there's not 40 righteous men. He knows there's not 2. But he's listening and having a conversation and a dialogue with Abraham because he respects Abraham. And he counts Abraham as his friend. Why? Because he obeys the Most High God's rules, his laws. Abraham didn't get high. Abraham wasn't a disgusting alcoholic. Abraham wasn't a disgusting Christian. Abraham wasn't a liar. Abraham wasn't a thief. Abraham was a man of God. And that's why it's so important to be a man of God, to be a woman of God, someone who follows the Most High God, who obeys the Most High God. Because then and only then will you have a without blemish reputation like Abraham. And then maybe in your prayers, you can change the Most High God's mind too.
That's right.
You can change his heart, his mind. You can change what he's going to do to your city. Maybe if you join the Israelite School of UPK and go to that class in your city and stop playing around with the Lord, maybe you can change God's mind when it comes to what he does to your family here for 4th of July. You know how many deaths there's about to be this weekend? There's going to be so many deaths, brother, that you won't be able to count it. Maybe God can change what he's going to do to your family 4th of July weekend if you stand with the Lord. But how could he do it if you're going to celebrate the 4th of July? If you're going to celebrate your birthday and eat pork, you're going to put pork ribs on the grill. God won't be with you when the fireworks burn your house down. How many fires happen on 4th of July weekend? You know, over 500 every year. You know why? Because of fireworks. How many deaths happen every year around 4th of July weekend? Countless. You could be one of those many deaths. You could be one of those many fires. But you could also be the one who survives. You could be one of the people who don't get shot 4th of July weekend, who don't have a house fire, be one of the hundreds of home fires 4th of July weekend. But what are you willing to do to stop it? Are you willing to have a without blemish reputation like Abraham? Or are you willing to live a life like a Christian pastor? We'll see. We'll see. It's your decision to make. I know this. Abraham made his decision.
That's right.
He made his decision, and this is what Abraham did. Abraham pleaded with the Lord to stop the death and destruction that was going to happen to Sodom and Gomorrah, right, so he could save his family, to save his brother, to save his nephew Lot. You could do the same thing for your brother. You could do the same thing for your family. You could do the same thing for your people. All it takes is you stop playing with the Most High God and join the Israelite School of UPK. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, man? The 4th of July is right around the corner. Death is right around the corner. Addiction is right around the corner. The hospital is never full. The grave is never full. What are you waiting for, man? Join the Israelite School of UPK. Stop playing with it, man. Come into class, do your 90 days, and learn how to change God's mind like Abraham did.
Right.
Learn how to get the Most High God on your side. Everybody understand?
Right. That's correct. All right. We're going back to the Hebrew. Genesis chapter 18, verse 31. Wayamar, Hana, Na'a, Hawalathya, Ladabar, Al Hadanya, Al Awalya, Yamataza Awan.
Yamataza, you said it right, Taza'awan. So that's Yamataza
Yamataza.
There you go.
Sham, Aisharayam, Waya Amar, La'a, Asha Kayath, Ba'ai Bawar, Ba'ai. That right?
Khan.
Ha'isharium.
Salaki.
The last word.
Ha'isharium. Khan, you said it right.
Ha'isharium. Verse 32.
You started at 30.
Kind of the cons. No, I started at 31.
Okay.
Salaki. Wayamar al na'a yakar la danya wa dabar It's like it.
You said it right.
Ba'adabara. Ak. Hapayim. Hapayim. Awalya. Yamataza
Awan. Yamataza
Awan. Sham Aishara. Wayamar La'a Asha Kayath. Ba'ibawar Ha'aishara. Verse 33. Wayalak Yahweh Ka'ashar Kala La Dabar Al Abaraham Wa Abaraham Shab La Makwama
Salakia Lamakwamwa. There you go.
All right. Genesis chapter 19 verse 1. Waya Ba'awa Shanya Hamala Akyam.
God.
So that's where it was right.
Hamala
Akyam. Sadama. Sodom. So it's
Sadama.
Ba'irab. Like you. I'm gonna just start using that.
Sadama. Yeah, instead of sodomite.
This is Sadama. This is Sadama. Salakia. Ba'irab. Walawat. Yashab. Basha Ayr. Saddam. Waya Lawat. Waya Kwam. Lakwa Ra'atham.
You said it right.
So it's Lakwa
Thumb.
Lakwa Thumb. Waya Shafkawa. Apium. Arataza. Is that right?
God, that's right.
It seemed like with they be throwing me off sometimes. Kind of the kind. Verse 2. I'm stopping at 3.
4.
Wayamar Hana Na'a Adanya Sawarwa Na'a Al Banyath Ibadakam Wala Yanwa.
You said it right. Wala Yanwa.
Warkatazawa. Warkatazawa.
There you go.
Ragalyakam. Wahashakam Mathum. Wahala Kathum. Ladarakakam.
There you go.
Waya Marwa. La'a Kaya Bara Kawab. Nala Yan. Now you're so like it. I'm telling you. Nala Yan. Verse 3. Waya Patazar. Waya Patazar. Bam Ma'ad. Waya Sarwa. Al Yawa. Waya Ba'awa. Al Bayathwa. Waya Aish. Lahom. Waya Isha. You said Waya Isha. Lahom. Masha Da. Wamataza Wath. Apa. Waya Akawa. Verse 4. Taram. Yashakabwa. Waya Anashwa.
You said it right. Waya
Nashwa.
I mean Nashia, not Nashwa, but why Nashia?
Why Nashia? Ha'ayar, Nashia, Saddam, Nasa, Nasabwa, Al Habaya, Manair, Wa'id, Zakwan, Kal Ha'aim, Makwatazaha,
No, it's just Makwataza.
Makwataza.
All right. Genesis chapter 18 and verse 32.
31.
So like it, verse 31. All right. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Most High. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Most High be angry. And I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I would not destroy it for 10's sake. Verse 33, and the Most High went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place. Chapter 19, verse 1. It's like he's moving just a little slow. All right, Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. Salakia, just so you know, those 10 was Lot's family. Right? That included Lot's family. That is who... Finally, you see, Abraham stopped. He said, 10, okay, 10, okay, 10. Yeah, 10. He's thinking of Lot and his family. He like, shit, he's like, I can't do nothing for the rest of these cats here. Them sodomized. I can't do nothing for them sodomized, but I can do something for Lot because Lord knows that's my brother and my nephew. I know he's not a sodomite. I know he's a man of the Lord. I know that he's my family, and I have to save him. Sodomites is not my family. The Gomorrites ain't my family, but Lot and his family is. My niece is over there and his wife. His family, that's my family. So what am I going to plead to the Lord for? My family. And you brothers and sisters better remember that. Because in these last days, brother, we are fighting for our family, not for everybody.
That's right.
You got to be one West, Ak. If you ain't one West, Lord be with you, Ak. I don't know what you are, but you're not my family. I'm fighting for this brother and his family because they one West. I'm fighting for the brothers here, the brothers in the Isupk UK, Isupk Trinidad and Tobago, headquarters, Baltimore, D.C., Cali. I'm fighting for one West side. I don't know what you're fighting for. And in any man's life, you're going to find that to be true. You can't fight for everybody, which is that notion God loves everybody is ridiculous. That's a lot of headache. Imagine being worried and concerned about everybody.
Right.
Everybody isn't your family, but Lot is his family.
That's right.
The Isupk is my family. They are my family. That's who I'm fighting for. Yeah, I don't know what you're fighting for, but I'm fighting for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Yeah, right.
You can fight for whatever you want to fight for, but this is what I do know. Abraham fought for his family. He made sure to plead to the Lord for his family and his family only, because that is what matters, Ak. The ones who are going to die for you, the ones who are going to fight with you, the ones who are your flesh and your blood. You go and fight for America if you want. The punishment America gets, you'll get. You go fight for Ukraine and Russia if you want, China if you want. Those punishments that they receive, you'll receive. I want the reward for fighting for the Isupk, because the reward Commander General Hunter receives will receive too. And that's what we're fighting for, brother. Once again, you fight for whoever you want to fight for. But I would have you fight for a righteous cause, for a righteous people, people who are willing to die for you. People who are willing to take care of you. People who are willing to love you and give you a new family. A new sense of family. Not the Crips and the Bloods. You need a new family. The Crips and the Bloods got you locked up for 10 years. You don't need the Norteños and Sereños. They got you killed. They got your brother shot 7 times. You need a new family. One that you can die for righteously.
That's right.
Receive a righteous reward for dying for. Receive a righteous lifestyle for living for. You don't need to die for no one else. Come in here and live for the Most High God in the Isupk. And that's what Abraham knew. Abraham said, I'm not fighting for sodomites. I'm fighting for Lot. I'm pleading for Lot and his family and my family. That's all I'm fighting for. Everybody understand?
Got it.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. There came 2 angels to Sodom at even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. Verse 2. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. So, like, for time's sake, this is heavy. I can't break it all down. But this is called hospitality. Something the sodomized didn't have. And LGBTQ community don't have it today. The oppressor doesn't have this. The Asians don't have this. They beat old ladies in the head when they go to a nail salon at the Korean shop. They unalive young girls like they did to that sister back in the 80s and the 90s, to those sisters and those brothers that went in there and was 1 penny short. They shot them in the back. Unalived them by shooting them in the back. The Asians don't have hospitality. The Africans don't have hospitality. They couldn't even allow us to live with them, and we're the same goddamn complexion. And they couldn't allow us to live in their land. Why? They sold us into the hands of our enemies, into the Romans and the Greeks and the Italians and the Spaniards and the Dutch and the French and the British. The Africans don't have hospitality. The Arabs don't have hospitality. They made the boats the Africans sold us on so they could get their piece of the game too. So they can get their piece of the transatlantic slave trade too. The Arabs aren't hospitable. They made eunuchs and slaves out of the Negro males, out of the Issacharite males, out of the Gadite men and the Benjamite men and the Levite men. They're horrible, have horrible hospitality. But you know who has hospitality? The children of Israel.
That's right.
Lot and his family. Abraham and his family. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the most hospitable people on the planet Earth.
Damn right.
We're the people that won't shoot you in the face for simply knocking on our door. We're the people who won't shoot in your car because you turned around in our parking lot like the white man did up in Harlem, New York, up in upstate New York last month. We won't shoot you in your face because you have the wrong house to pick your brothers up in like they did Ralph Yarl right here in Kansas City. The white man is not hospitable. The Arabs aren't hospitable. But God made sure that we are people that have hospitality.
That's right.
And we make sure to extend our arm out to you when you're a stranger in our land. Lot don't know who these men are, but he knows that they're men of power. And he said, y'all come and stay with me. We'll wash your feet. Come and eat with us. Come and sleep. Have my bed. Take this bed. I'll sleep on the floor like we know how to do in the UPK. Like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know how to do. Everybody loves staying with their grandmother in the summertime because you knew you was going to get tea cakes and get cooked for, home cooked meals. She was going to feed you, bathe you, clothe you, stay outside with your cousins all night. And everybody slept on the couch together, and it was hospitable. And when a stranger walked up to her door, she didn't shoot them in the face like that oppressor did to that 16-year-old boy, Ralph Yarl, on 103rd and Terrace. But she would make sure that whatever they need, they had. That happened in slavery and after slavery during the Reconstruction era. Black people were hospitable to the oppressor, hospitable to the Africans, hospitable to the Chinese, hospitable to the Japanese, hospitable to the Arabs, hospitable to the East Indians, and they spit in our face every chance they get. They steal from our communities every chance they get. We need to separate from our oppressors, separate from our enemies so we can have Black Wall Street where we're a nation full of blacks and Hispanics and we're hospitable to each other. Your son won't get shot in the face because he made it to the wrong address. Your children make it home from school every day. You won't worry about your grandmother at a Tops grocery store not making it home that day because we're a nation of hospitality.
That's right.
And that's what Lot had. He had hospitality. He had grace. He had mercy. He had kindness, something that other nations don't have. Yeah, right. The heathens don't have. They can't possess it because they're cruel and selfish. They're unalivers. They unalive nations. They unalive people and enslave them because they look different than them, because they dress differently than them, because they talk differently than them. We're a nation of people who are hospitable. We don't just reject you because you look different. For though thou was a stranger in the land of Egypt. We know what it's like to be a stranger in everybody's land, but no one knows how to be a stranger in our land. No one knows how to be hospitable to us like we are to them. And that's why we need to separate like what Lot is about to do with Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot is about to separate from Sodom and Gomorrah to save his life and his family's life. This is what blacks and Hispanics better understand. You better do the same thing that Lot did because this is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah. The United Kingdom is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah. The United States of America and Canada and Brazil is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah. Right. You better separate from that place spiritually, brother. You better never give your soul over to this land, your soul over to your oppressor. You better separate and join the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and learn your language, learn your culture, not America's culture. The 4th of July doesn't belong to black people. That belongs to American white slave owners. The days of America's holidays aren't your days. Those are days for the oppressor who enslaved your people. You better learn your culture, your heritage, so you don't give your spirit over to this place. So you won't give your sons and daughters' spirit over to this place for another goddamn generation. Could you imagine another generation of black children doing what you did, getting high like you got high, like you had got high? Having sex with hoes like you had sex with hoes? I thought the point of being a parent was to make the next generation better. They could never be a better generation than the one before them because you didn't separate from America like Lot separated from Sodom and Gomorrah. God is going to destroy America. God is going to destroy South America. God is going to destroy Great Britain and the United Kingdom and France and Russia and Ukraine. There's going to be nothing left of these places that are captivity. There's going to be nothing left of Canada for the crimes that the Canadians committed against the North American Indian. There's going to be nothing left of America for their crimes against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. There's going to be nothing left of Great Britain for their crimes against the West Indies, the chosen people of God. You better learn to separate yourself from these places of our captivity, or the next generation is going to be worse than the last generation. Lot understood that. Lot knew to get the hell out of Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot knew how to take heed to the warnings of God. COVID-19 is a warning from God. The AIDS epidemic was a warning from the Most High God. The fires in Canada is a warning from the Most High God. COVID-22 and monkeypox and the LGBTQ and the poor air quality for the last 2 months in America is a warning from the Most High God. And you better pay heed to the warning from the Most High God, or the next generation is going to suffer and die like the last generation. You better listen to the words of the Lord, man. You better get the hell out the IUIC, get the hell out the Christian church, get the hell out of the GMS, get the hell out the Muslim mosque, get the hell out the conscious community, because God is going to destroy this place, man. And he's coming down with great wrath and great anger and great vengeance upon this place, just like he did to Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodomah in the Hebrew. You better take heed to the warning from God, man. You better stop playing with your life. You better stop playing with the life of your children and separate your soul from America. Separate your soul from the Christian church. Separate your soul from Great Britain and the white man, because he is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn right.
Salakia, man.
Damn right, sir.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 2. And tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. Verse 4. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. That was it, right? Verse 4?
Kind of.
Like I'm spinning all over the place. Like, yeah.
That sounds crazy. It's heavy. Genesis chapter 19, verse 5 in the Hebrew. Wayakwarawa, Lawat, Wayamarawa, Lawa, Ayah, Ha'anashim, Ashar, Ba'awa, Ayak, Halaya La, Hawataza Ya'om, Hawataza Ya'om, Yanawa. Yeah, Yanawa. Wana Da'ai, Athom, verse 6. Oyataza, all your home, Lawat, Hapa, the Ka, Wahad, Dalath, Cigar, cigar, Akaryawa, verse 7. Wayamar, all Na'a, Akia, the Iowa, verse 8. Hana, Na'ala, Ya, Shathya, Na, Banawath, Ashar, La'a, Yada, Iowa, Ayash, Awataza, Ayah, Awataza, Ya, Awataza, Ya.
You said it right.
Na'a, Na'ath, Nathahan, Al Yakum, Wa'aishawa, Lahan, Katawab, Ba'ayanya kum, Rock, La'a Nashyakum, no Salaki, La'a Nashyam, all the Aishawa, the bar, Kaya al Khan, Ba'awa, Batazal, Korathya. Verse 9. Waya Marwa, Gosh, Hala, Waya Marwa, Had, Ba'a, Lagawar, Waya Shapat, Shapawat, Aida, Narai, Lak, Maham, Waya Patazarwa, Ba'ayash, Balawat, Ma'ad, Waya Gashawa, Waya Gashwa, Leshabar, Hadalath. Verse 10. Waya Shalakwa, Ha'anashyam, Yadam, Waya Ba Ya'awa, Waya Ba Ya'awa, Lawat, Al Yahom, Haba Ya'da, Wa'af, Hadalath, Sagarwa. Verse 11. Wa'af, Ha'anashyam, Ashar, Patak, Habayath, Hakwa, Basanawarium, Hakwa, Makwatan, Wa'ai, Gadawal, Wayala Awa, Lamataza, Hapadak.
Alright, this is Genesis chapter 19, verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him. Verse 7, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Verse 8, behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as in good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof, which is something Commander Juniana teaches us real quickly. It's how to have hospitality. The people and the guests in your house are your responsibility. This is something Captain Natazak Shah taught me years ago as he was staying, and the brothers from D.C. and all over would stay when they came down to have camp in Virginia, would stay in my home. The people under your roof are your responsibility.
That's right.
You can't just go like in the world, and because of the Christian church, we don't care. We lack the capacity to care for people, even if they are in our house. We kick our kids out at 18. We don't take care of one another. Like, we're taught to be selfish in the Christian church. But God wants us to have the spirit of brotherhood, to be responsible for people when they come into your home, to be responsible for your guests, to have what they want and to have what they need. You should treat the people in your guests as if it's their home. And that's the point. And the guests should treat you like the Lord of your home that you are. And that's brotherhood. That's hospitality. Lot was so willing to defend and protect his guests because they are his responsibility, that he was going to give some sodomize his daughters. But they didn't want his daughters. They wanted men, like in the IUIC. The IUIC, they don't want women in the IUIC. They spit on women in the IUIC. They unalive women in the IUIC like Joy Morgan. They don't want women. They don't care for women. They don't desire women. They're like the sodomized in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
They crave men. They want masculine energy. They want Big Rod energy. Like that rapper Lotto. She had a song called Big D Energy. That's the anthem for Nasty Nate. Because that is what they crave. They want men. They don't want women.
Right.
Just like the sodomized in Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody understand? But because Lot had the hospitality he was taught from Abraham, his uncle, and because he was, you understand, he feared the Lord. Abraham feared the Lord. He was able to teach the men in his home how to have hospitality. And so Lot had hospitality, He had hospitality, something that they don't have in the church. They don't know how to be kind to you. They don't know how. They don't understand how to be selfless, how to give up what they have to you because you need it, because you want it. They don't understand that. Lot understood this. Lot understood it, and he was so willing to protect and defend the men and the guests of his home. He was willing to give his unmarried, unwed daughters who never known a man to a bunch of sodomites. But just like in the IUIC, they refused those women. They refused all that tail. They refused makeup on a woman. They refused a woman looking nice and sweet and kind. They refused the loyalty of a woman. You know what they prefer? They prefer men, like the booty warrior on the Boondocks. Prefer men. That's what they want in Sodom and Gomorrah. Men, not women. And their lust, Nasty Nate, is like those sodomites that came to Lot's door, because his lust for men is so strong that he's willing to do anything to get men.
Right.
Like create his own Israelite group just to get men. And that is what their desire is, not women, not women. Just like in Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody understand?
Kind of.
This is verse 8. So like it, verse 9. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with him. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. They were so lustful for men that they were going to break the door down and unalive Lot. They were going to do something worse to Lot. That meant that they was going to sodomize Lot because he tried to give them women. That's like Nate. That's why they want to spit in women's face, because they don't even know what to do. They hate women. They give me a woman. What, a woman? She can't wear makeup. She can't talk. We're going to spit in her face, because they hate women and they're sodomized. Just like the ones that surrounded Lot's door. And they're going to bust your house down to get a man, to get a man's butt. Not women, but a man. A woman has a tail too, but that's not the tail that they want. Like Teddy Pendergrass got that song, you got what I want. That ain't want a woman. That is about a man, and that's Nasty Nate and them favorite song, because they knew Teddy P was talking about men, and they want the same men Teddy Pendergrass wanted. Transgenders. Teddy Pendergrass was paralyzed because he was receiving fellatio by a transgender in his car.
Good night.
And that's the type of men that the IUIC desire. Transgender men. That's why they shoot them in the face. They don't want women, so they kill them too. They don't want transgenders. They're just lustful, murderous bastards. Purple cops who hate black people, and God knows they hate black men. God knows they hate black women. Go ahead, Doc.
So like, sir, if I may, every time they go march, every time they gather together, when them cats are out there 400-500 deep, you notice it's for a man?
Right.
It's like never to go, feed the homeless,
right,
wake up the nation, do some good.
That's right.
They went and marched for Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Kyrie Irving don't know none of them niggas.
Right.
Today they right here in Kansas City, marching for some man.
Right.
Every time they go march, it's for a man.
Right.
They went in front of Geno Jennings' church for some man.
Right.
It's like they come together, just like all this mob in Sodom and Gomorrah at Lot's house.
For men.
For men.
Right.
Every time they mention it's for men, I don't want it.
Yeah, I see looking sound real like this scripture here, Genesis 19:9.
They want Geno Jennings.
They want Geno Jennings to be in that purple out. They want men to wear that purple. They want a bunch of men's to wear that purple, so they can dance in Vogue like Big Frida, Dick and Abigail, to dance and just please men and be with men. They love men because they're sodomites, just like the ones in Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember, you've been warned. You assistant brother there, you've been warned, Doc. We're teaching the whole goddamn Sabbath service class, and the Bible is talking about the IUIC in Sodom and Gomorrah. They have the same spirit as the Sodomites in Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, right. Let's keep going. Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. Verse 11. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. All right. Majin, which means to stand. We'll finish it up next week. Sar.
La Yashala.
Sar. Alright, Majim, everyone stand. For Punya Hakodan, which means to rise and face the east.
The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat
Shemaya.
Wadash. Ayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakwa. Ratazak. Ayah. Aisha. Ratazak. Pawa. Ayah. Bashamayim. Thunlanawa. Nakum. Kal. Yawam. Basalaklanau. Wapnau. Pasalaknau. Wapyanawa. Wala. Tabiyanawa. Manasayawan. Awashayanau. Mayan. Rai. Malakwa, Wa'ala, Parah,
Aman in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
The power in the Hebrew, Yahweh. By Shem Yahushua. Babakashah. Thunlanawa. Akat. La'pa'ah. Kal Makala. Wakal Marawa. Latahal. Amatazariah. Akat. Lahakwi. Awakawa. Tama'ala. Agarashah. Shem Yahushua.
Wadaman in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power to heal. All manner of sickness, and all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it.
Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. By Shem Yahushua. Baraklanau. Yasha'ala. Bayaf Sapari. Barak. Magun. By Shem Yahushua.
The water Aman. What we just said was Yahweh in the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha,
Ayanya,
Ahahari, Mayan, Yabaa, Isaiah, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemaya, Maharatazah, Al-Yathan, Namawat, Regalka, Yanawam, Shamarka, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala, Yayashan, Shamar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazal, Al-Yad, Yamnyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Jekai, Wayara, Yahweh, Yashamar, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'atka, Waba'ak,
Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help?
My help
cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this time forth and even forevermore. So be it.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Al-Damayal Lakal. Al-Tacharash. Al-Tashakwat. Al-Yahana. Al-Yabika. Yahama Yawan. Umashanag. Nasha'awa. Ash. Al-Aimaka. Yarayamwa. Sawad. Oyatayai Tazawad. Al-Tazap Pawanyaka. Amawa. Nakawa. Wagoya. Wala'ah. Yazakar. Sham Yashal. Aywa. Nawai Tazawad. Yachadwa, Yakaraf, Adawam, Wayashimali, Wagaria, Imawan, Alashap, Tazawur, Gamashawu, Nalawat, Iman, Zawad, Salah, Aisha, Gamadim, Kasayasara, Banakar, Yashwan, Yashamad, Bayanda, Iowa, Dama, Yamma, Daira, because Abba, Zalmanai, Kalnasaya, Kamwa, Ashar, Mar, Rashad, Nawa, Alahayam, Shayathamwa, Gagala, Wash, Panyaraka, Kaash, Gabairi, Ukalahat, Yam, Khan, Basai, Wabasawapak, Gabahalon, Panyahon, Wawan, Wayapaquash, Shamka, Yahawa, Bashwa, Wayabaal, Idiai, Wayakapara, Wayabad, Wayadai, Yada, Shamka, Yahawa, Badka. Ow, Yawan, Kal, Ratazah,
Aman. In English, keep not thy silence,
O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace,
and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from me in the nation. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zed. Yea, all their princes as Abba, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded, and trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. Sister Jashabi, which means to be seated. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Aimadim Shabbat, Aimadim Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatham, Yajimatah. Sar, face the sisters, I imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I imagine Shabbat, I Madyam, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, Yajimatah, dismissed.